We are at the Ingersoll Rural Cemetery, which was established 150 years ago to serve as the main cemetery for the Ingersoll area. After it was established, the remains of many of the first settlers were brought here from pioneer graveyards that were being closed. We are standing at the grave of Captain Ichabod Hall, which is probably the oldest of the pioneer graves in this cemetery. Ichabod Hall came to this area as a young man in the 1790s with the Thomas Ingersoll group of settlers from Great Barrington, Massachusetts. Ichabod Hall eventually became a captain in the Oxford militia and did service in the War of 1812. In August 1814, he was wounded in a skirmish with American soldiers led by the trader Andrew Westbrook. Ichabod Hall died a month later at age 40, leaving a widow, 2 sons, and 3 daughters. This is the monument to Ichabod's daughter Clarissa Hall and her husband Daniel Carroll. Ichabod Hall died when Clarissa was only 11 years old, but she lived to the age of 81, and in her lifetime saw Ingersoll grow from a forest clearing to a prosperous industrial town. These are the monuments to John Carroll and his wife Maria. They brought their family of 9 sons and 2 daughters to Oxford and settled near Beachville. In the War of 1812, their son Henry was killed in the Battle of Stony Creek in 1813, and their son John Carroll Jr. was killed in 1814 in the skirmish with American soldiers led by the trader Andrew Westbrook that also left Ichabod Hall injured. Several years later, their son Daniel married Ichabod Hall's daughter Clarissa. John Carroll Sr. lived until 1855 at the age of 102 years. This is the monument to Dr. Daniel Carroll, who was the son of Clarissa Hall and Daniel Carroll. Dr. Carroll lived to the age of 74 and donated the land which is now Memorial Park in downtown Ingersoll. These are the monuments to Elijah Hall and his wife Eliza. Elijah Hall was born in 1800, and some say he was therefore the first white child born in Ingersoll. He was only 14 years old when his father Ichabod Hall died. When Elijah was a young man, he built a mill pond and a sawmill on the land where the Ingersoll Museum is now located. He believed in the need for government reform and was a rebel leader in the rebellion of 1837. To avoid being thrown in prison or maybe even hanged for his beliefs, he had to flee to the United States, and he lived for a while in the Great Barrington area, but later returned to Ingersoll as a political hero and lived here another 30 years. He and his wife are now laid at rest in this cemetery with some of their children. This is the monument to their daughter, Eliza, and her husband, Wright Sudworth. This is a portrait of Elijah Hall.